Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
Man, it's so nice to catch up. You and I have always seen each other around and everything, and I've stayed in tune with your music, for years. But this new album, what a great listen this has been. And I know it released recently, but the guests that you brought on this album, Micki, between Kingfish winning a big award, you got Gary Clark Jr. You've got Santana, Cindy Blackman Santana on.
Yes.
It's like, come on. Oh, and Steve Stevens.
Steve Stevens. We have to mention Steve. This album was crazy. I wrote it, Eric, over friggin' the pandemic in 2020, man. And that's the song by 2020. See you, get out of here, And it was just like I just got into it. I was writing it anyway, but I got into it and it started to turn out really cool in my brain. So I just called up some of my friends and said, hey, would you play on my record with me? And everybody said, oh, sure, send me the tracks. And so that's how it went down, man.
And the great thing about the album too, Micki, I want to bring up so that our viewers know, is that, I thought, compared to your past albums, and I've always enjoyed your work, and you're just a monster guitar player. And I love the tonality you get, but I really hear your influences in this new album where I can hear the Hendrix, I can hear the Stones, everything that you and I grew up with comes through this, but also you put your own twist on it. It's not like you're covering it. You're bringing the Micki free version of it.
Well, thank you so much for saying that. And I dig it when people like you that interview me get my music. I really appreciate that, Eric. And first of all, I've never been the guy ever to try to be Jimi Hendrix, to try to be Stevie Ray Vaughan. That was never in my vocabulary. All of those people were influences in my guitar playing, Eric, and in my life. I never sit down on a record and try to play All Along the Watchtower solo exactly, ever. Because you know why? There's only one Jimi Hendrix, bro. I am not that guy. Compare me to whatever you want. The influences are heavy. Like you said, I'm very old school in my tonnage and playing. Me and Billy Gibbons talked about it. And that's just the way it is. I really appreciate you noticing that.
Well, and I've got to brag on you some too, because you won't do it, Micki. But, it's not a bad thing when Billy Gibbons is raving about you. Oh, and just happens to give you a guitar that you also used on the album.
You mean that gutar? You mean that guitar?
It might be that Billy guitar, that nice little Billy Bow.
That Billy Bow right there? Okay, yeah, he did, actually.
How amazing is that for you? Artist that, has paid your dues. Your first concert was Jimi Hendrix, going with your sister back in Germany.
Right.
And then here you are today with probably the best album you've ever put out to date.
No doubt. No doubt. When I saw Hendrix, bro, and I'm telling you this, Eric, I was sitting in the front row with my sister. She was smacking me in the head because she was with her boyfriend. She didn't want to be bothered with me. So I'm like, okay. I didn't even know what was playing. All of a sudden, the lights go down low. This guy comes out with a big afro and purple bell bottoms. And then you hear, and the spotlight hits me. He goes, dig. This is for the lady in the front row in the pink panties. It was Foxy Lady. That was it.
That's just amazing. It's amazing you got to see Jimmy live, but also like we're talking about with your album, though, it's like I can hear the influences, but you're not copying or mimicking, and you never have with all of your music. And obviously from the awards and with all the people you played with, I got to bring up too, the single that's already out, Bye Bye 2020.
Oh yeah,
you did with Steve Stevens, our buddy for the show. It's like just monster, but you really cover a lot of ground in this album to where you've got some ballad stuff, you got the blues, obviously the blues piece with Kingfish, and it's just a lot of different styles of music wrapped up into one album.
What happened was, and this is very cool that you said that, Gary Clark Jr., as you know, is a really good buddy of mine. Okay, so I was talking to him and listening to his last couple of albums. He's very eclectic as well. At first, when he came out, Eric, remember they tried to put him in the blues bag, but he did far more than that, and I do far more than that.
Right.
I just want to say to anybody listening to me on your show, I'm a blues rock guitar player. I am not a blues guitar player. Right. Blues rock, influenced heavily by the blues,
certainly,
but influenced by Jimmy's style of blues.
Mm-hmm.
You dig?
And so, that's what I like about the album is that I think that people that, download the digital, buy the album. Also, I hope you put it in vinyl, and also
coming out, baby.
Awesome. And with your singles and with videos coming out, I hope that they are listen to the entirety of it, because I think it's one of those albums too, to where, you're not just stuck in one box. You're not just doing one genre of music. You're covering a lot. I got to bring this up too. Some of our viewers may not realize, Micki, some of your incredible history to where you were discovered by Gene Simmons of Kiss. Oh, yeah. And that was your first manager.
Totally. It was in a band in the Midwest called Smokehouse, 3-piece band, right? And our manager happened to be a booking agent, Eric. So he would get us all these very cool dates. And this 3 shows was with, you're going to love this, Kiss, Rush, REO Speedwagon, and Ted Nugent.
Oh my gosh.
Right. So I do my show, because we opened up before everybody. Yeah. And I went back to the dressing room, and Gene Simmons comes walking down the hall in those monster boots, like, yeah. You know how Gene is. Right?
Oh, yeah. He's huge, even with no boots.
He looks down at me, and I kid you not, and goes, "You're a star." Just like that. And he said, "If you're ever in LA, I want you to look me up." And that was the beginning of it. That's how Gene and I met. Wow. And after that, I was in LA. He knocks on the door, knock. I was SIR playing guitar. He sticks his head in. He goes, "Remember me?" I'm like, "Simmons, what's happening?" He goes, wow. "I have somebody I wanted you to meet tomorrow." And it was Diana Ross. And that's how I got into it. So Diana Ross managed me for 2 years too, with Gene Simmons. And
I can't wait to read the book when you have time to write it in between tours and recording sessions. But you got to tell me, because once again, I was a huge fan of them. I still have them in my workout playlist, Shalamar. Okay. How did you get the gig with Shalamar? Because I remember seeing you, on tour and the live performances with Shalamar with the awesome matching outfits. Yeah. And you looked so rock and roll and, just sort of stuffed in there.
I was just different for sure. What happened was they had seen me around town, the manager of Shalamar, Dick Griffey. Okay. So they approached me and asked me to join the band, right? Because I was signed to a little production deal with Leon Silvers, who wrote and produced all those Shalamar hits, Eric. Leon Silvers.
Oh my gosh, what a big name in the industry.
Oh my God. And a cool guy, awesome guy. Wow. And, I was already set to do a record with Leon, but then Shalamar approached me, and I was like, oh, I'll get back to you. So then I called up Simmons. I go, "Gene, this band named Shalamar asked me to join them. I don't even know who they are." So Gene goes, "Okay, let's go to Tower Records." Remember Tower Records on Sunset?
Totally. Used to live there.
So we go to Tower Records, and this is the best, viewers. We buy a CD. I'm not a CD, a cassette. Cassette, viewers, and put it in Gene Simmons' Rolls Royce, right? And sits in the parking lot of Tower Records and listen to Shalamar. And I go, "I don't want to join that band. That's not even my style of music, Simmons." And I'll never forget it. Gene goes like this to me. That's my best impression of Simmons. Look, I'll tell you what. I think it's a good idea, Micki. You join Shalamar. The Kiss company will also negotiate a solo deal for you at the same time. And you will be getting into a limousine your first time out instead of a taxi cab. I mean, when I joined Shalamar as a blues rock, Mickey Free guy that just was doing myself, I crossed Shalamar over, and it's true. And as you know, into pop, and you can verify it all with "Dancing in the Sheets." That song is Shalamar's second biggest hit. Yep. And you see me rocked out, swinging, breaking through windows, right? And
that great guitar solo.
Oh, thank you, man.
I got to embarrass you again because you won your Grammy.
Yeah.
Back with Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, every time that movie comes on or you hear that soundtrack, it has to kind of blow your mind on this, Micki, because, come on, you got a Grammy from it.
Well, you know what? Again, I was very young when I won my Grammy. So I had been in the business, I think, officially in Shalamar, maybe 2 years or something, or 4 years, 3 years. And I won a freaking Grammy. And Simmons goes, "Kiss never won a Grammy." And then he goes, and you're on the scene and win a Grammy your first time out. He goes, something's wrong with that. I started laughing.
Oh my gosh. Well, besides your amazing musical career, also there was an impersonation of you on the Dave Chappell Show as part of Prince's entourage. And I had to go back and watch that last night, of course, doing my prep and research for our interview. And I mean, you know, for forever, you're going to be remembered as playing basketball as part of Prince's entourage against Charlie Murphy.
Dude, the thing about that, Eric, it's a true story. Everything about it is true. I mean, Prince is on record even saying it's true. A quick recap. Sitting in the club, me and Prince hanging, Charlie Murphy, Eddie Murphy, they walk in. Hey, just like the Chappelle skit. Right. We're hanging, dancing, yeah, digging it. And Prince goes, let's go to my house. And so we all, that's like, come on. So we jumped into the limos and stuff, went up to Prince's house with like 30 models and us. And we're sitting on the couch and Prince goes, let's play basketball. It's me and Prince. And I can't remember either his bodyguard or his brother, Charlie, Eddie, and Uncle Ray. Okay. Yeah. We go out on the court. But remember, we're still in our clothes from the club.
You're in club clothes. Yeah.
We're in club clothes, man. Right.
Oh,
and
my
Eddie
God.
Murphy and those guys are like ready. And they're looking at me like, and Eddie looks at me and goes, oh, yeah, free. It's on. I'm looking at Prince like, and Prince says to me, just check the ball and give it back to me. I was thinking to myself, gladly.
Yeah.
Gladly, you know. If this is true, Eric, I give the ball to Prince. He brings it in between his legs, behind his back, running around Eddie Murphy like a little freaking super bee. Then he goes to the corner, fadeaway jump shot, first shot. We're all looking at it. Nothing but net, baby. Nothing but net. And I look at Eddie Murphy and I go, yeah. Like
yeah. So the skit is all true. I mean,
everything.
What an incredible life and history you've led. But not only that, Micki, you know, and once again, you know, talking about your guitar and your music work, but you've already achieved 2 Native American Music Awards. I understand there's a rumor that you may be getting in the Hall of Fame in November of this year.
Well, sir, Eric, that's no rumor, sir. Okay, let's get that perfectly straight. And it's 5 Native American Music Awards.
5?
Yes, to date, sir. Yes. Wow. But the biggest thing is so cool. They're inducting me into the Hall of Fame in November into the Native American Music Hall of Fame.
Right.
Be free. Wow, right?
Yeah, but how well deserved too, Micki. I mean, you know, you're one of those artists that, in my opinion, just keeps getting better, you know, with your music, with your tours, with everything else you're doing. And just like with this Turquoise Blue album, you know, I mean, what
my best.
Yeah, what a force of nature, you know, the right guest. I mean, you could tell that you were really into the music and into the song choices and creation. And also, as you brought up, with the one cover in there all along the Watchtower, you know, but you played it your own way.
Totally. And you know what's cool about that? That's my favorite Jimi Hendrix song written by Bob Dylan. Okay, did that. I say that to everyone. And so I always wanted to cover it. I always did, because in my last album, American Horse, I did Voodoo Chop with Cindy Blackman Santana playing drums, smoked it, and David Santos. So we did Along the Watchtower. I wanted to do it my way, stay close as I could to Hendrix because I love the way Jimmy did it, but do it my way. And I got a review, I think it was from Air Guitar, and he says to me, I said to him, how'd you like All Along the Watchtower? And you could read it in the interview. He says, it was a tour de force. I was like, yeah. See what I'm saying?
Oh, amazing. Well, you know, speaking of which, also, you know, you and I are both music gear nuts. And besides your, you know, little Billy Bow that you got from Billy Gibbons,
that is so mean.
You've been playing the Taya guitars a lot also. And I understand there's going to be a signature model. And so, you know, in every guitar magazine, Micki, I feel like, you know, you're in an ad or something. You're in an ad or an article within the last 2 months. What's up on the signature model?
Oh, dude, I'm so excited because, like we discussed earlier, Taya guitars are like so beautiful, number one, but the quality, the craftsmanship, and the way they sound, Eric, is just unbelievable.
Playable artwork.
Exactly. like Tony Zamitis' guitars. Obviously, Taya, he took his inspiration from Zamitis, and I speak to him almost every day. And he told me that he has 2 original Zamitis guitars, $7,000 and $10,000 he paid for them.
Him and Ronnie Woods from the Stones.
Yes, thus he designed those guitars after Zamitis. So I'm in production with those guys to do the Micki Free Comanche signature model, and Taya himself is designing it in Spain right now. It'll come out probably towards the end of the year for purchase. But I can't
wait. I can't wait to see him play it, and that's the thing too. Micki, I think you're one of those artists that mixes incredible fashion and style with incredible music, and you put them all together, and you develop this style as a teenager, right? And you just keep being yourself, man.
You know what? That influenced by Jimi Hendrix. There's no doubt where I got all my peacockness was from Jimmy and the Stones and all those 70s cool looking bands. Dude, I just love clothes. I'm a fashionista. I mean, I'll tell you right now. You know what I mean?
You look good, man. You always look good. You got the best clothes, the best hats, the best turquoise.
Right? Turquoise blue. I just love clothes and stuff, man. And putting it all together, it's a package. Yes.
Where do our viewers for the Rock and Review need to find everything Micki Free, also for the tour this year?
Oh, yeah, man.
Where should they go on social media and your web?
They got to go to MickiFree.com first and foremost, okay? Then on Facebook, yes, sir. Then on Facebook, it's www.officialMickiFree. My book, we're in the process of doing, right now.
Thank goodness.
And you're going to love this. Who, of course, told me 20 years ago to write a book?
Gene Simmons.
Of course. He goes, I've got the name of it. Free at Last. And that's going to be the name of the book.
He is a genius. I mean, come on. It's Gene Simmons.
Free at Last. I love it, man.
I love it too. Well, I'll tell you what, also, I love this new album, Turquoise Blue, Micki Free. Be sure and get your own copy, add it to your playlist. Don't just do the singles, listen to the whole album, because there's so many great tracks on here. You're going to want to hear it all. I can't wait to see you live on tour also, Micki.
Oh, dude, Eric, we're number 9 on the blues rock charts right now. Number 9, baby.
Wow.
And my band is smoking. We leave the first week of May. We're going to go to Canada to my favorite blues club. It's called the Blues Can. I just love it. Like a little dive. I just love that. We're going to go there, smoke it, play it, come back, chill out a little bit. Then we're into Cali playing some casinos. Yeah. And then there's little stops in between. And then, of course, the Native American Music Awards inductory ceremony, which you're going to be personally invited to.
Yeah. Hall of Fame.
And I'm sending Hall of Fame inductee, and I'm sending my private jet to pick you up.
You're the best, Micki. I tell you what, love the album, and I love all the great things that you're doing right now with the tour, Hall of Fame. You deserve all of this, and what an incredible album. Micki Free, thanks for joining the Rock and Review.
Eric, love you, man. Stay in touch with me, brother.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.